So installation of Ansible is done, and we have cross-checked the version of Ansible. So as per the project setting, a project ecosystem, the control machine with Ansible installation is done, and then target machines or managed nodes with CentOS, and then CentOS, and then that is also been done. So now let us get into our AWS and let us check the machines. So instances, you see, control machine, vProfile web, vProfile web, vProfile DB. So our four machines are ready, and their key pair names are control key, vProfile key, vProfile key, vProfile key. And the most important aspect I would like to let you know before we move ahead are this thing. See, the security groups are very important for this, because we want our control machine to access other three managed nodes or host machines. So for that, what we have to do is we have to add two security groups. One is normal SSH group, default one. Other one should be as at resource, you have at source you have to give the security group of the control machine. So let's get into that and we'll see. So security group of control machine name is control SG, and then with 7F. That's the security group rule ID. So let's get into the instances, and then now we'll get into the web one and then security group, and click on inbound rules. See here, see, we have two rules. One is default my IP, second one is security group of control machine has been given as a source with the port of 22, so that the control machine can be accessed this. So let me get back and look into the other machine, security, and then same thing, SG of the security group of the control machine has been given as a source with the port of 22, so that it can access. Then for the DB, again security group here of control machine with the port 22. So with this condition also has been agreed upon. This condition is also been met. So now it's time to look into the next part of this project, that is creating an inventory file. So before we create an inventory file, let's get into the documentation of Ansible and see how can we create that. So this is Ansible community documentation. Here we'll, if you get in here, you can find out the ways to install Ansible. Then here is the place where you'll find out the way of doing this project, and then here is the place where you find out how to write your inventory file. The first inventory file, you have two options. One is INI, second one is AML format. So first let's look into the way of building inventory, and then we will look into our project. Okay, let's get here, let's get into this place, and then I'll click on inventory basic format. So okay, so inventory basics, that's formats, hosts, and groups. So you can create your inventory file in one of many formats depending on the inventory plugins you use. So the most common formats are INI and AML. So we are going to use INI format. So normally the uh, default uh, default host file or default inventory file will be presented in this location. So uh, let's let's get into our machine, and let's find out that a default inventory file. So let me clear the screen and I'll become a sudo, and then so now cd etc ansible So here is, you can find out ansible.config. This is our configuration file, and here this is hosts file. This is our default inventory file. This is a roles directory. So let me do vim to hosts. Yes, this is how it looks. So let's scroll up, and then let's look into this file one by one. So this is the default Ansible hosts file. So it should live in this directory. That's fine. So these are the some of the fundamental descriptions of this file. So the comments always begin with pound character, then blank lines are ignored. Then if you want to group a number of hosts, they should be delimited with the square bracket, and then the group name should be put in. Then you can enter host names, either host names or IP addresses, or else you can give the domain name directly. So host name or IP can be a member of the multiple groups. So that obviously you can put the same host in a multiple groups. This is actually a fantastic one. This is what we call configuration. You can play whatever the way you want. So then you have another example. Either you can mention all those hosts ungrouped. So in that case, this is host 1, this is host 2 with the domain names. These two are IPs. And then example 2, a collection of hosts belong to the web servers group. If it is a web server group, obviously you have to write it in this way. Open square bracket and put the group name, that's web servers group, and then close the square bracket, and below that you write the number of hosts that belongs to that group web servers. So two domain names and then one IP. So then we have, if you have multiple hosts following a pattern, you can specify. So here www and then dot something and then example.com. For example, www dot some pattern.volvo.com. So in this case, inside, if you have let's take an example. So we have our Volvo, so main domain is volvo.com, and then www is common. In between I will have a subdomain. So that subdomain will vary based on the application, not based on the service. So each server will have a different subdomain. So now I can put that pattern here, and then I can use www and then main domain.com, and in between I'll put that pattern. So automatically I can connect with all the servers without specifically mentioning that domain subdomain names here. So, and similarly a collection of database servers. Here this is DB servers group, and inside that you have all your host machines. And then similar way for the DB servers you can use pattern also. That's all fine. So now it's absolutely fine. We have looked into this. So again we'll get back to our documentation. So that's all. So same thing here, they're reflecting the same thing, not much of a difference. If you want to do that using YAML file, this is the way. So anyway, we have discussed the YAML format. It's not difficult for you to decipher the things that are present on the screen. So now let's, as we have seen the way of writing inventory file, now let's get back into our work, and let's let's get into our project, and then let's write the steps that we have to do. Okay, so first thing, the installation. So installation has been done. Here they're mentioning using pip Python package, whereas we have done it using Linux commands. So that's done. So then they're mentioning to group up. So let me write that in a sticky note. So steps, first one, installation is done. Then second step is to group it. So we'll group the hosts, group the hosts based on, I think we'll group it group one is DB host servers, DB host group, and it will consist of and second group is web host group. So these are our groups. Then after that, the most important activity is set up SSH connection, so Ansible can connect to the managed nodes. So this is very important. So here what we have to do is add your public SSH key, public SSH key to the authorized keys file on each remote system. Test the SSH connections, for example. So we will do it in another way. Okay, that's anyway, you have to make that connection between your, because ultimately these are all Linux systems, so they are going to access through SSH only. The our Ansible is going to connect with this Linux machines through SSH. So we have discussed in our slides about the same concept. So now that's the reason we have to set up that, we have to establish that connection. So let's do that. And final one is, once all set, then we'll go for the pinging. So this is where we'll get to know whether our target machines or host machines are communicating with this or not. Ansible all yum ping. Okay, so installation is done. So grouping, we'll do it when we create the inventory file, create inventory file. That time we'll do that. Then but we'll do this first. Okay, this one we're gonna do. So let's get into the system. It still exists. Now what I will do is cd home mkdir. I'll create Ubuntu. Here I'll create exercise directory. So cd home ubuntu exercise. So at this moment it's completely empty. So let's create the, let's basically make the connection between our target machines and then our control machine through SSH. For that, there are different options. Either you can go for the password, or the password is not the proper way, not the secure way, because you are exposing your machine with a simple password. That's not the correct way of doing. So let's do with the public private key. So anyway, we have used a key pair. So what I will do is, let's get into the directory where our key pair is there. This is the vProfile key pair. See, I'll show that. I'll get into the instances. If we see, all our target machines or with vProfile key, vProfile key, vProfile key. So it's common for all three missions. So that is the reason I'm gonna use this, and I'll place the private key of vProfile key into our Ansible machine or our control machine, so that the SSH security will be cleared and they can securely and safely access. So our control machine can safely access. For that, what I will do, I'll get into this place and then I will open VS Code here, and then sorry. So this is our private key. You can see that begin RSA private key and close and RSA private key. It should be exactly you have to copy. So you should not, neither you should have a additional space nor, okay, it should be exactly copied end to end. So in spite of that, you just say and control all plus C, copied. So now let me get into the machine back, and vim, I'll give the same. It is v profile key dot pem I and paste it. Get back WQ and then done it. Clear. So we have attached it. Now it's time for us to write inventory file, and then let's begin. So vim inventory file. So I insert mode. So now my first name I'm gonna give is web host 01. That's the machine name. And then Ansible host equal to, I'll get into the machine, and then these are the host names. I'll copy the IP of the each machine. So I'll check the private IP. So it's 98. So I'll get back to the control machine and then paste it the same. So pasted. So that's one machine is done. Then machine 2 web host 02. So Ansible host and then private IP of this machine vprofile web 2 private IP is 34. Again get back to this, paste it here without any spaces. Done. So then we have db host 01. Okay, sorry. Ansible host equals to, again get the private IP of db. This is the db. So copy and then paste it back here. Yes, it's done. So now, so we have named the each host with web host 1, web host 2, db host 1, and they are referenced. This name has been referenced with the machine with this private IP. This web host 2 has been referenced with the machine with 172.31.45.34 private IP. So that's how it works. Now let's create the groups. If you remember the documentation of the, yeah, let me get back to the building directories. So if you see here, okay, it's on top. Yeah, so this is the way of doing groups. So let me copy this from here and then, okay, or else I'll copy both because I want both. We'll have a web servers as well as DB servers both together. So let me paste it here. Now let me go up. I'll write this as web serve web, okay, web host web hosts web host group grp, and here web host group consists of web host 01 and web host 02. Web host 01 and then web host 02. So then the second group, I have one more server. I will put that server in this group. So it is db host group grp. So it consists of only one machine, that is db host 01. So I'll add that one, db host 01. So done. So groups has been added. So now let's attach these groups in a different way. So that is, so say, we'll create one more group like DC hyphen, and which region we have our missions, Oregon. So let me get into that. Okay, Oregon, DC, Oregon, and then children. These are all, these all two groups are children of this region, Oregon. So that's the reason. So now I'll add both the group names. It is web host grp, db host grp. I hope spellings are correct, exact. Yeah. So total we have three groups now: web host group, DB host group, and DZ Oregon children. So total three groups we have. And finally, the most important thing to be added is variables. So why we require variables? These are environmental variables. Of course, Ansible host, Ansible host, Ansible host, and then this Ansible host is environment variable. So now one more environment variable is which user should be accessed from this, whom should be connected from my Ansible machine, my control machine. When it is connected to the target missions, to whom should I connect, to which user, that we have to mention. That's the Ansible user. And second one is Ansible private key that we have attached, that should be connected, attached to this one. Okay, for that we'll create one more group. There's a variables one. So DC, it is Oregon, and then it is mm, vars, and then close it. So down Ansible user, it is CentOS, and then Ansible SSH private key file is vprofile key.pem. This is what we have created. So our file is absolutely ready. So this is the vprofile key.pem. This is where the private key has been added, so that that secure SSH connection can be established. Okay, so let me save this WQ, and then let us try to execute first time here. So let's say, no, but before that, chmod 400 or whatever way, or 0 plus x is also possible, and then the file name is vprofile keypem dot, and I will also give execute permission for o plus x inventory. Now I'll say Ansible I, and then inventory, the file that we have created, and then m, and ping, I want web host 0. It's done. Okay, so it's success. We got connected with, so web host 0 1. So we got the success. So we are able to successfully connect with this machine, web host 01. Web host 01 is nothing but this one. We are successfully connected with this one. We have pinged that machine, so that ping is success. You can see that Ansible facts discovered interpreter Python. So this is the Python. This is where in that so user bin Python, and then changed ping pong. So it's successful. So one fact I would like to tell here is, so if you get into the, see, if you face any issues at this point of time, because sometimes you may get error saying unable to reach out, connection error, uh, or reached false, or maybe uh, unable to connect with SSH. So if you get any kind of error, you have to do some modification. I have done it already. So you have to do some modification in your file, in your uh, configuration file. Where is that configuration file? CD and then etc ansible. If you come here, you see the ansible.cfg. So vim ansible.cfg. So if you see that there are a lot of files here, so I'll come down. So I'll come down, I'll come down, I'll come down. So now what I'll do is, so it's very difficult to, pretty difficult to see a lot of things are there here. So I'll give se and u. So see number and enter. See, now you can see the number. Now I just want to type now I want to search for one thing. So that's that host hyphen key, and then so look for keys, um, auto add and everything. So 322, just a minute. Interpreter 328, host key checking. Yeah, host key and then checking. So this is what you have to find out. So normally what this one will also be commented like this. See, other all others are commented, so this one will also be commented. So what you have to do is you have to uncomment this. You have to uncomment this. See how it looks like. Just a minute, I'll show you. It's at 320. Yeah, here it is. So let me click I. So insert mode. Now semicolon. That's it. It got commented now. So it got commented. So it by default, if it is like that, then you uncomment this by removing this semicolon. Then it would be highlighted. Once this comes to this stage, then you say WQ and save it. So then the problem will be solved. Basically that's giving permission to access SSH, to that's giving permission to SSH to access Linux, other Linux machines, other host machines, other target host machines. So that's the reason that you have to check out. Okay, so now let me get back to the CD home Ubuntu exercise. Yes, let me check ls lrt. You can see that inventory. Okay, I got this Ansible cfg file. I just copied here, but just when we execute that. Okay, that's fine. So our now let me get back to the documentation. Oh, sorry. Yeah, here it is. So this one is done. Inventory file creation done. Setup SSH done. Now let's do all ping. Okay, these two are done. So now it's time to ping and check each and every thing. Okay, so now let's begin with the simple one. We'll do the first ping is Ansible I, and then inventory is our file, and then M. Then we'll do our first ping with the ping. And what is our first? Web host 01. Sorry, 01. Absolutely, absolutely, it has pinged the web host 01 machine. Okay, so then let's do web host 02 machine. Yes, success again. Web host 02 also has been pinged by the control machine. That's also done. So if you're not clear which is web host, this is the web host 02, this machine. See, 34. This is that machine. So then we will see db host 01. So I'll just change the name. db. Fantastic. Even db host 01 has also been pinged. Brilliant, brilliant. So now individually we are able to ping. Now it's time to ping based on groups. Okay, let's ping it based on groups. So Ansible. Now what is the first group? First group is web group. Web host grp. Superb, fantastic. So web host 01 and web host 02, these two machines belongs to web host grp, and they have been successfully pinged. So if you have a doubt, I'll show the inventory file one more time. See here, web host group consists of two machines, webhost 01 and webhost 02. Both has been pinged successfully. And dbhost grp consists of only one machine, and both will be pinged. Let's do it next. And then we have one more group. It consists of both the groups. So when I call this group, all machines, all target machines should be pinged. Let's see what's going to happen. Q. Yeah. So now let me ping db group and see what's going to happen. db. Brilliant. Even this is also success. Now it's time to ping one more group, that is d dc Oregon. I think dc, it's dc Oregon, correct? Let's do it. Let's see. Superb. Grand success. You see, all machines has been pinged. This is the magic of Ansible. That's what I say. From one mission, without touching that mission, you are able to ping it, and next we are going to do some configuration in that missions. We'll do it. We'll do it. Don't worry. So then what we're going to do is, the next thing is, so there is one more way of pinging all. So that is using all. Ping all. Ansible I option inventory, then M option, and ping all. Just mention ping all. It's going to ping all the machines irrespective of groups. Even if you do not have any groups in it, still it's gonna ping all. So let me show that. Vim. Okay, that's fine. It's not required. Okay, I just want to prove it that even if it is. So similarly, we can ping all with one more, all with another way, that is using single quote, asterisk, and then close the single quote. Done. Again, webhost 01, webhost dbhost 01, webhost 02. So all has been pinged. So with this, we have successfully pinging each and every target host machine that has been connected with our Ansible uh, control machine. So hence this activity has also been done. So this is the main purpose, and now we are going to do configuration management in all these three machines. Let's see.